In this presentation, we will continue on with the process of converting a video file such as one we would upload to YouTube, into a post, such as something that we can put on a WordPress site or a Facebook site or some other type of blogging site, as well as something that we can upload to courses if we so choose. In prior presentations, we took this MP4 file. This is the file that we would upload basically to a YouTube. We created a podcast from it with an MP3 file, and then we've also now created a text file with the use of software Otter that just is going to convert that file to a text file. We also made a PDF file from that text file. Now we're going to go back to the text file and use it to post to WordPress at this point in time. So let's go back on over. We're going to say, all right, here's the actual text file. It includes images, so we have the images in it, and we have the texts in it, and we can also use these items up top for keyword searches within whatever place we're putting it, such as a WordPress site, to help with ranking. All right, so let's go back on over. We're going to say, once again, you could upload this. We're going to be focusing in on WordPress, so this is a WordPress site. I recommend putting together some type of WordPress site. I think it's a good way to go if you don't have experience with websites, but you can learn a WordPress website, and there's a bunch of resources out there. But you can also post it to some other kind of blogging site. You could put it onto a LinkedIn account. You could put it onto a Facebook account or any kind of other blogging site that you would want. The goal here, of course, drive traffic to your website, where you can basically have whatever you need to do on it, which could be consulting or whatever your business is at that point. So we're going to go back on over to the blog. We're just going to add a new one. So I'm in a WordPress site. I'm just going to simply add a new post. So you can add a post or a page. Typically, people would be adding the post here. So we're going to add a post. And then it's just a matter of copying and pasting. So I'm going to go back on over. Now, it's a little bit tricky when you got the images in there. So it could be a little bit more tricky with the images. Now, the first images, a lot of times, a lot of WordPress themes will have an image, a separate image kind of text. It'll be like the thumbnail that you would see on like a YouTube. And that oftentimes is in another location. So oftentimes you want to put this particular image possibly in another location. Now, to do this, you actually have to save the image and then upload it. So what I'm going to do is save this image. I'm going to go to each image that it comes up. I'm going to right click on it and then save it. I'm going to save it as a picture. And then I usually just have one folder set up, like my picture folder doesn't really have anything in it. I'm going to create a file that's going to be a JPEG. So this is basically an empty folder that it's easy for me to get to. I only have like one thing in it that's an actual JPEG file at a time usually. And then I click on it. I don't even change the name of the slide. You probably should, because it could help you with your ranking, even to have another kind of keyword in there. But I'm just going to say that's what I want. I'm going to put it right there and then replace it. And then you got to go back over and we're going to be adding the image over here to our WordPress site. So then we're going to go back to the WordPress site. Now, instead of putting it on top, I'm going to put it down here in the featured image. So many WordPress themes, it depends on your theme, will have a featured image, which will be the image that will show up on like the picture when people click on it. So that's kind of like the thumbnail image. So we're going to go into the featured image. We got to upload an image. So I'm going to say upload the image, please, and select the file. And then we're just going to pick that file. And again, I got it into that really easy to find folder here, just the pictures folder. And there it is. So I'm just going to say, boom, there it is. I'm not even going to worry about the name of it. You might want to, again, change the name once it's uploaded. So now it's uploaded. You can see it over here. And then you could change the name if you so choose. You could put a caption, and all this kind of stuff could help with the search engine optimization. If you have time to do that, this could help with the search engine optimization to name these images and whatnot a little bit. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say save that image. There it is. So that's gonna be the one that's gonna show up on the thumbnail. Now, as you do this, you might want to be saving this kind of as you go. So you want to then save the draft as you go, and then you can also preview it here before you actually post it or publish it. And then once done, you can publish it down below. Now, note we also put this image on YouTube. So I also could link, and I usually would at the top of the post, to the YouTube site. And that will give some juice over here to YouTube, that YouTube, it'll rank. They have some backlinks to it or whatever, which is supposed to be good. And then, so it'll link to YouTube. And this is a really great tool to show you how YouTube can be used to link anywhere. The links work really well, and you can embed them or have links to the YouTube. Whereas again, if you put it on some other site, they're not as good as running the video fast and all that kind of stuff. So even if you're just using this for work and not trying to expand your YouTube channel per se, it's still a really useful tool on almost any job, so that you can explain things to people and have them go to a place that runs videos easily. So what I'm going to do then is go down on the web page here, and I'm going to say, let's look for the video file and just put a link to it. So if it's in a playlist, it'll make it easier to do. So I believe mine is in this playlist. You can also just search for your file. So if you know the title of the file, you could just search for it, but you want to search for it within your channel. Otherwise, you're going to be searching all of YouTube, which, you know, it's less likely to pull up your your video when you're searching all of YouTube. So here it is, and it's as easy as this to pull it over. You just right click on it. I'm just going to right click on this item, and then I'm going to copy the link. Now note that it's really neat in YouTube too. You can actually copy the link for a current time. So if you wanted to like have people jump to a certain point in a video, you could do that. And you can even go to the timestamps in your actual blog post and say, hey, I'm going to put a link to that particular time in the video as well. So if you wanted people to jump right there, you can do that. But I'm just going to put the link to the top of the video up top. I'm going to go back over to my WordPress site and say, all right, WordPress site. I'm going to just paste that here. I'm not going to do anything special. I'm just going to paste that there, and it'll embed the thing for us. Now, there's some tools you can use to optimize the embedding and make it, you know, more standardized and whatnot, but that's it. And when I mean optimize it, I mean you can have it load up a little bit slower so that it doesn't take so long and your page will load up faster. I'm not going to get into all that information. If you start getting into loading the page up faster, there's a lot of information you can find on that, and that's better than I can do. So let's go back on over. So let's go and say, now I'm just going to go through this and start copying these. Now, I like to copy the whole thing, including the stamps, in terms of the timestamps. And again, that'll help people if they want to actually watch the video, because the timestamps will tell them, you know, if you want to watch that component of the video, go to 0.38 on the video. And then every time we have an image file, we got to go back over here and say, all right, it's an image now. So I'm going to go back in, I'm going to copy the image, I'm going to right click, and this seems tedious, and it is, but if you have this system set up, I'm going to put it in that empty folder, and I'm just going to then make this a JPEG file. And then I'm going to overwrite this one that's already in there and say save. Then I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to add the media item. It's going to be an upload file. I'm going to select the file. And then it's going to go to that same folder, which was that picture was in it. That's my picture file. It's already there because that's where I was working in. Same name. I'm not going to worry about renaming the file. And there it is. Now, again, there's other things you can look into in terms of optimizing the size of the file and whatnot, and to save space and make it run faster. I'm not going to be doing that right now. I'm just going to insert the post. There it is. Now, notice it makes it small, and you might want to make it larger and whatnot, but just note that it's trying to optimize the image for the size of the page. So the longer your page is and the more images and videos you have, it'll run slower. So if you make it bigger, fine. But just note that then you might want to, you know, it might run a little slower. So I just use whatever they give me. Also note that you can then wrap the text in different ways. So if I want the text below it, that's the easiest to work with. But you might want to say, I'd like to, you know, put it on this side, or I'd like to have my text kind of wrapping around here. And maybe it's easier to actually insert all the text and then go ahead and decide, you know, your wrapping techniques. I think the wrapping is actually, you know, nice if you got these smaller images. So then we're going to go to the next ones. I'm going to say, all right, there's that. I'm going to copy that. I think I copied it. I'm using Control-C for copying, by the way, in case that's not, in case I wasn't clear on that. And then I'm going to paste that here. And you'll see this time it wrapped around this picture instead of being right below it. So, and then I'm going to go back down. And like I say, I think it's easier to enter it just flat out without doing that wrapping first, and then go back and add your wrapping. And then you can kind of play with it when you go back and see if you want to wrap one to the left, one to the right, make it all kind of fancy looking. So then I'm going to say save as again. Let's do this again. We're going to be putting this into our picture folder. So within the picture folder, I'm going to make this a JPEG file because that's the picture file. I'm going to replace this file and then say OK. Then I'm going to go back to the WordPress side, and then I'm going to be going to my media, adding the media. I want to upload another file. going to select that file from my library or from my browser or from my files, which is in the same folder. It's already there because that's where we were last time. Same name because I just keep on using that same name, which isn't great, but hey, I don't, it's fast. And then down here, I'm not going to rename the thing. Probably should. Not going to. And there we have it. So there's that one. So then I would hit enter and then go back on over and say, all right, what else do we got here? Going back to my Word document, the Word doc. Let's keep on copying this on down. So I'm just going to keep on copying down. Did I put any more images? I got one more here. So we get to do this one more time. This is good times. So we're going to then go back on over to the WordPress, the pressing word. There was a word and we pressed it. So WordPress. And there we have it. And then we're going to go back on over to Word, the Word doc, not WordPress, and then save as. And then we're going to be putting this into then the picture file. We're going to make it a JPEG. That's not JPEG, that's GIF. JPEG. JPEG. Now I lost where the JPEG is. There it is. JPEG. Overwrite. Yes. Minimize. And then add the media file. And then we want to upload it. And then we're going to select the file from our computer. And then we want to make sure that we're in the same file, which is the picture file, which we are because that's where we were last time. And it's just going to remember the last folder we're in because we're in the same post. And then we're just going to say, let that upload and insert it. So there we have it. And then I'd just like to hit enter before moving on. And then let's go and move on. So then next one, scrolling back down. We'll pick up the next items. Let's see. Is this where I've got a picture of text and then text. It's kind of confusing. We got one more picture. Let's just skip that last one just for now. Notice if you try to copy the whole thing and I just copied over that picture, then you can do that. It won't paste the picture, right? So then I can then paste that in this way. So if I just want a text file, I'm like, dude, I'm not doing all that with the pictures. That's taking too long. You could just do this. Just note that it's not going to pull in the picture. It'll leave like a blank space and then just delete the blank space. So if you just want to copy and paste a text file, then you can do that as well. So I'm going to go through here and you can clean that up a bit. Got some blank spaces. I'm just going to clean that up. And there's our pictures. Now you can go back in and kind of mess with the pictures if you want, right? So there's a space. I don't really need a space there. So now I can go back in and say, all right, well, that picture, I got it wrapped. I kind of like that. Let's see the next one. Then I don't need that space. I'm going to kind of remove that. Now this one, maybe I'll put that one. Maybe I'll put that one on the other side, Maybe I'll put it over there. So we got that. And then this space, don't need that. And then this one, like this one, let's try what, I haven't tried that one yet. It's in the middle. Hey, let's give it a shot. Give some variety here. People get bored pretty easily these days. It's easy to get bored. So there we have that. So now we have that. Now also just note, I don't normally do this, but just note that if you have these timestamps, then you can then say, okay, I'm going to go to that point in the video. So I could go up to 2.56 in the video. So there's 2.54 is close enough, right? And then I can right click on the video and say, I'd like to copy the video at that current timestamp. And you could then go back on over to your WordPress and say, I'm just going to paste that right there at the current timestamp. Now you might think that you want to do that all the time, but what'll happen is, because then you'll have the video file at that time. But if you do that, then what'll happen is you're going to have too many files on a page. If you had a ton of video files on one WordPress page, it will run slow unless you use some more different optimization tools. Now also note that you might want to say like link to, instead of having the video, link to this point in the video. And so then you can say, all right, let's just do that. And you might want to say link like that. And then you can add the link. So I could say, all right, let's just highlight that and then I'll put a link that's a hyperlink on it. Hyperlink. So we can then hyperlink it and then put that link there, and that way it shouldn't slow down the page so much. And then if you look at your options, so we applied it there. Now also note that if you then edit that link, you can also go to your options here. And do you want to open the link in a new tab, or do you want it to like open in the current tab? In other words, when people click on it, do you want this tab, like the tab that they're in right now, to just go to YouTube at that point in time in the video? Mostly the time not, usually not. I would like them to open a new tab so they can come back to my page and keep reading my post, right? So then they got my YouTube post and my page post open. So normally I would say you want to, anytime you have a link, tell the system, hey, I'd like you to open that in a new tab, so that a new tab will kind of pop up, and that'll make it so they have your post open and a new tab. All right, so then let's go ahead and save this. I'm saving the draft that we have thus far. And then I never put a title up top. A title would be nice, right? Titles are kind of important. Those are kind of important. That's going to be just at the top of this thing. So I'm going to say, let's go back up top, pick up the title. So I'm going to say title, please. And we'll pick that up and then bring that on over here. Title. So there we have that. Okay, and then the next thing you could do is you want your tags to the right. Now you could just add a couple tags that you want. Notice this tool that we have here is pretty nice though, that they actually give you the tags that are most common in the post. So, and that's probably your most effective keywords, right? So you might just copy these tags, and if they have commas in them, you could basically put them in here and say, you know, add those, and it actually adds all of them with the comments, which is really nice, right? So that, I mean, that's, you know, it's trying to pick up all your common tags right there and just picks them up. Okay, so then that's pretty much it. Now, one other thing I think is important that I always forget to do is like if you open this thing up on your posts, it'll just be one long post. And now if you want to say, they call it a fold, if you want to have a fold in the page so that it's only going to show part of your post until they click on it to see the rest of the fold, like say I only want people to really see like this top part, and that's it. Then I don't want the whole page to be filled up with one post. So what you do is I'm going to make a space, and I'm going to say I want to add insert read more tag here. And that means they're just going to have to click on the post to read the entire post. And that means they can scroll through a whole page of posts without having to scroll through like a 10-page post and then go to the next one. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this, and then you can preview it. So let's go ahead then and preview it before we post it. So I'm going to say, let's preview this thing. And there it is. So there's our information. Looks nice. And you typically want to check your links. Like, what if I clicked on that link? What would that do? Opens up a new tab. That's what I expected it to do. Is it going to take me to that point in the video? And it does, right? That's pretty super cool there. So it linked us over right to that 2.54 in the video file. So I'm going to close that back up. And then, so that link works. You could test your link up top and run that. And that should be good too. So everything looks pretty good there. Notice it opened up a new tab for me to go there. So I'm going to close that back up, and let's say, all right, let's go back into the site, and let's go ahead and say, let's post that thing. Let's go ahead and publish it now. So that'll make it live when you actually publish it. So now it's going to be published. And then you can, if you were to check like your page, then let's go to the home page and check this out. I'm going to go over to my posts. I don't post a whole lot to this page, by the way. So if you go here and still see as many posts, I post more to the other page. But in any case, notice here's your page. Now notice the way it's lined up. If you scroll down, you're just going to see a bunch of posts. Now notice I did not do a line item for the fold or whatever in all the posts. Right here, I have a fold right here, which is what I want, so that people can keep scrolling through the posts and see the important top part of it without having to, like this one, scroll through the entire post, right? So what you want to do is have that fold in place. And then if they click on this one, then they can see the entire post. So they're going to go, all right, well, here they clicked on it. So now you see, the entire post with all the beautiful pictures and everything and the links and whatnot. So that's going to be the basic process. Now, once you have this process, you can do the same thing for LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn, you would make an article. I would do it with an article. You could do it with a post. If you want to do a post, you can just paste your YouTube, link right there, and it'll post a YouTube link, right? If you want to do an article, then you can do the same process. It's basically the same process for an article on LinkedIn. And then Facebook, same thing. You can post this on Facebook or enter it here as well. Just notice on Facebook, you probably don't want to link to YouTube because Facebook doesn't like YouTube, right? They want their own videos files. So for Facebook, you might just want to do the text files, and then you would want to re-upload if you're big. I'm not big. I should do Facebook more, but if you could then upload the video file again to Facebook, right? Because then Facebook won't get mad at you. And there's rumors that they will not, run your post as well if you take your video file from YouTube, right? But if you post it straight into Facebook, the same MP4 file, which we have, then that's supposed to work better. But then you can use the same process with Facebook and any other place you want to put it. Obviously, then you can put it into a Udemy course as well, or whatever other platform you're using, Thinkific, Teachable. You can put the video file in there, and then you can also give people, along with the video file, the other resources. You can give them the audio file if they want it, right? If you just want the audio file, you can do that. You can make it downloadable for them, so they can download the audio file and take it with them if they want. That's fine. Or you can give them the Word document. You can give them the PDF document, and later we'll talk about converting, the Word document to other languages and possibly giving them audio files in other languages. So maybe you can pick up people that and support people that are in other languages as well, at least to some degree. It won't be perfect because there's going to be some translation tools that we'll be using in the process, but we'll take a look at that. That's it for now. Let's get out of here.